So Farid, why did you seek out the Limitless crew coaching?
I was struggling with sales and I was looking for answers. My numbers were low compared to my counterpart, and I felt like there was something wrong with me, and the numbers were a reflection of me and something that I need to fix about myself. There were some other things that I wanted to touch on, which was great because I was able to get everything that had concerns about addressed through the program as well, and not just the sales numbers. My relationship with my wife, just improving it, some health questions I had, some spiritual questions, digging in with myself to help get those answered, and self trust, confidence, and some tools that I didn't know that even existed to help me live a more enriched life. There was two main things I wanted to say, but the one that I still remember is about my heart, and essentially feeling my heart and kind of right away knowing how I'm feeling and what I need to do to get it where I want it. And the first thing was the feeling good. And before, I would always want to kind of suppress that to go and get sort of like a dopamine high again once I feel it. But realizing that staying in that state of flow, whatever it may be called, was where I wanted to be. So I could tap in kind of pretty quickly and say, oh, I feel good. Cool, let's keep it there. Or, nah, I don't feel too good. And then having those tools to fine tune, kind of like a mechanic with my heart or my gut, my feelings to get myself to the place that I want to be and having a sense of, okay, I'm feeling lighter. That's what I want. Cool, got it. Let's move on.
So those kind of like the emotional barometer tools and understanding like how you're feeling in your body and like which parts of your body are affecting this feeling and that feeling. And you feel like you have a better understanding of how to kind of control that.
Yes, that's correct.
You mentioned health and working on improving your already awesome relationship with your wife. I can't say I've had a guy that has been married that's come in that I've worked with that has been as positive as you are about your relationship and your wife. A couple things that guys fear around coaching like this is if they're going to have time, if they think that it'll work for them, if they'll stick with the work, worried about money and this investment in themselves that somehow investing in yourself is a bad thing. What do you have to say to somebody that thinks like that?
It's certainly an investment, a commitment. For me, this was the priority. So as far as having time or committing to it, I had the burning desire to do it. And if that is there, then certainly like anything, if you love video games, you're going to prioritize that. But if your burning desire is to work on whatever it is that you have going on, I don't see why a time constraint or commitment would be any kind of issue. But if you're looking to improve yourself, then I don't think that the commitment would be what gets in the way of it.
Did you did you feel like you had enough?
Yeah, that
Yeah.
was actually a really cool thing was how far the calls were spread apart to give me time to review the last call, make notes, and then turn those notes into what do I want to like what am I missing still, and to develop some type of questions and what I'm looking for to get answered for that next call. So doing that process, listening to the call right one time and then the second time writing notes and then the third time looking through my notes and figuring out, wait, I don't how do I do that? I didn't really understand that, or I need a deeper understanding. So it was really cool for me to have the time to do homework, even though it wasn't assigned, but to really get the most out of the program. I will add one side note that I didn't tell you, but with my wife, like I think it was maybe the second class or something, and I asked her, how do you feel about this work? And I showed her some clips of myself, and she was like, I'll say the house is a lot lighter uh, now. And that is for sure true. And knowing that she likes that, and I can continue that. But before it was like pushing to get results and like But now the house is lighter from her perspective, her testimonial, so to speak, to the program.
That's awesome. That's awesome. That's a phenomenal compliment from your wife because we know women are very sensitive to energy and they know when their man is shifting and changing. It's her job to monitor you, my wife, to monitor me and say, hey, what's going on? What's wrong? Because us as guys, we have a difficult time expressing that sometimes. And a woman's job is to bring that out of us. So, man, that's phenomenal. That's awesome. And then how did you like the recordings, being able to go back and look at those? Because that's the first new program that I've launched that I've actually recorded what we've done and put it up for people to go back over. So what were your thoughts on that?
I can't quantify it, but it is definitely a huge factor to my success in the program because I was able to go and listen to it and do the homework that I had kind of described. But without that, I don't think my retention would have been near that. So really to be able to take notes, to reflect back on them, and I can't imagine without it.
If a guy came up to you just sight unseen and said, "Hey, Farid, I was thinking about signing up for this. What do you think?" What would you tell him?
Absolutely.